Hey, can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, please. Please and thank you. Sorry I'm late, you guys. Let me know. Come on in, come on in. Let me know if y'all can hear me, please. Come on in. Sorry, y'all. Whew. All right, we about to get this party started. Sorry. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay, y'all can hear me. Cool. All right. I had started. Am I on the right camera? Yeah, I'm on the right camera. Why is it a glare like that? Good Lord. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my life together over here. Is that the right camera? It has to be the right camera. I'm on the right camera. I just don't know why it has that glare. I don't know what we got going on over here. There it is. That's better. I don't know what that glare was. I guess I had something on the lens. All right, sorry about that, you guys. Come on in. Let me scroll up because y'all was talking. Let me see what y'all were talking about while y'all were waiting on me. Sorry I was late. I didn't finish the episode in time. And then as you can see, I had some technical difficulties. So my bad. Hey everyone, Rachel Zoe's growing on me because why is stating you bought a house relevant to the conversation? Baby, when I tell you I have been loving Rachel Zoe since the first episode because she has been giving those one line. Listen, we're gonna get there. But honestly, Rachel Zoe is why I tuned into this show. And I know that, people didn't like when I was comparing the Beverly Hills girls to the Potomac girls. Like, I get it. But I tuned into Beverly Hills for opulence. I tuned into Beverly Hills to see scenes like we saw. Y'all know we're doing 2 episodes tonight. Okay, so we started with episode 6. I believe this is episode 6 and 7. But I tune in for scenes like what we saw at the beginning of episode 6 with Bose and Rachel at that store. I think it's like a vintage, we call it a consignment shop. They call it couture, vintage couture. But she was buying up the stuff and she got to that register and the man at the register was like, you only spent $7,000. I feel like you could go ahead and get the jacket. And she was like, really? Okay, let's do the jacket. And then her total comes to $10,000. And then as she's walking out, she was like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't see this Birkin bag. Wait a minute. Like, and Bose was like, oh my gosh, look at this Rolex. It matches the ring that I have on today. I think I need to get it. See, that is why I tune in to Beverly Hills, right? I tune into Beverly Hills who get on a private jet and act like they've been somewhere before. Even if it is their first time on a private jet, you will never know it's their first time on a private jet. You see what I'm saying? And that's why Potomac could never. And I get it that all housewife franchises aren't created equal. I get it. But baby, this is why I'm here for Beverly Hills. I'm sorry. It's still, I know that Beverly Hills storylines lately have been leaving a lot to be desired, but maybe that's why I'm here for Beverly Hills. Anyway, let me keep scrolling. I'm sorry. Quake said, I'm liking Bose this season. Rachel has surprised me. Dorit and Erica can go. Don't hate me, but I want Kyle and Mo to start dating again. Amanda, not a good fit. Now, Bose got on my nerves this second episode, but we're going to get into that. Bose, don't hurt yourself trying to create a baby for this ninja. I said that last season when she said she almost died and the doctor basically told her she don't need to have no more kids. But girl, whatever. Truth, it's sad they pitted the black women against each other. I disagree, Chuck. I don't think they pitted the black women against each other. I think Bose chose a side. I don't think there were any storylines that made Bose go against Garcelle. I think Bose made a decision to go against Garcelle. That's my opinion. Oh, Quake said it. Bose didn't do it. I mean, they didn't do it. Bose did. Thank you. Bose wanted to fit in. Sadly, she listened to Erica and Dorit instead of trying to get to know Garcelle. Then Sutton also turned on Garcelle, but Garcelle won Avi. But again, remember, that's not true either, Chuck. Remember, Bose and Garcelle went out to lunch before they even started filming. When they found out that Bose was going to be on the show, remember Garcelle and Bose went out to lunch you know, and Garcelle kind of gave Bowles the tricks of the trade, and Bowles decided to do what she wanted to do. I don't really have an opinion of him because Amanda seems to not give him credit for anything but existing. Oh, her husband, baby, listen, if he don't divorce her after this season, the shoes in this episode were horrendous. I like what he said about Dorit. Okay. Baby, yeah, she was buying up all that Chanel. But it looked like it was a vintage store that had a lot of stuff because, like I said, they had the Rolex. And so I think it was a lot of vintage stuff. But anyway, so in that first scene, we saw Bowles and Rachel meeting up to do a little shopping. We found out that Bowles she went to her ultrasound, that they're going to do the egg retrieval. They got to fly to Vegas. We did see them do the egg retrieval. Listen, Bowles, if you like it, I love it. Who am I to tell somebody not to live the dream? But that's all I'm gonna say about that, girl. If you like it, I love it. Bowles is talking to Rachel about Amanda, feeling some kind of way about Amanda. Amanda's out here giving business advice and ain't never been to business school. All of the things, honey, all of the things. And so they were basically talking about how they feel like Amanda is very performative, how they didn't appreciate how she threw the stuff out about Avi because they felt like she was, you know, she did it for like to try to get a reaction and it backfired because she didn't get the reaction she was looking for from Sutton. She thought she was, you know, Sutton was going to think she was a hero. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me that Avi came to you, but she didn't get that reaction. And she was kind of like, well, why isn't this conversation going the way I thought it was going to go? I told you guys what I think it was Up and Adam was saying that word on the street is there's a NDA that's involved, and that's why Sutton can't speak on Avi and Avi can't speak on Sutton, which is all the more reason why I told y'all I didn't believe that Avi was running around talking about put me on the show, call me, I'll tell you everything you wanted to know. If Avi was going to, in my opinion, and again, I don't know these things to be, I can't say for certain, but in my opinion, if Avi was going to double cross Sutton like that, I don't think he would do it with a newbie. He would do it with somebody he knew who he felt like would keep some sort of anonymity, because I'm sure that NDA included a nice little piece of change. When she fired him, I'm sure there was some sort of severance package or some sort of little piece of change. Why would he put that money in jeopardy for Amanda? He doesn't know you, girl. He's been working on this show for years. He knows all of the glam. He knows all of the hairdressers and the estheticians, and he knows the housekeeping staff. Like, he knows all of the people. Forget about going to Erica. He knows Erica's glam. Forget about telling Kyle. He knows Kyle's assistant. Forget about, you know what I mean? Like, if he wanted to put information out about Sutton, there's a way he could do it without putting himself in jeopardy. And then the other thing is, again, I heard that that's basically like an NDA goes both ways. Like, if Sutton speaks on Avi, it sort of cancels, excuse me, it sort of cancels out the NDA, and then Avi can then speak on Sutton. I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense why Sutton wouldn't speak on Avi. And it also makes sense why Sutton was so convinced that Avi didn't say anything about her. Okay. So with that being said, Rachel is kind of like oblivious, but not oblivious. But she was just like, yeah, girl. Now, I saw a TikTok where this lady looked up Amanda's website to just see how much these classes cost. Baby, first of all, you got to scroll through the whole website to get to the bottom and get to the prices. You know, one of those websites where they try to hide the price, probably for a reason, a good reason. Baby, why do her classes start at $3,000? I'm sorry, I'm going to pay you $3,000 for you to tell me how to manifest, how to make money? It's not a real class on how to make money. It's not a class on how to start a business. It's not an entrepreneurship class. It's not even a class on telling me how to set up an LLC. It's not a class on telling me how to get some tax training for my business. It is literally a class on how to manifest wealth. And the classes start at $3,000. Well, $2,000 and some change. I'm gonna round it up to $3,000. And the classes are in sessions. So it's not like $3,000 for the whole set. It's like $3,000 per class. I wish the fuck I would. Exactly, Chuck. And who the hell is paying you $3,000 to tell them how to manifest money? Anybody that's paying her $3,000 deserve to listen. I mean, it's nice work if you can get it. I ain't even mad. I ain't even gonna knock the hustle. I ain't even mad at you, Amanda. I'm mad at the people. I'm mad at the suckers you done found to pay you that kind of money for no real business advice. And why I ain't think of it first? And she got a whole website of classes. So, of course, I guess she is making $30,000 a month. Shit. You got people paying $3,000 a class, and you got 20 different classes on your website. I mean, I guess. The biggest hustle is selling bottled water. Child, I guess. They got me because I be buying it. So, then we see Dorit goes out to lunch with her business partners. She said she's got a new business management team because her former manager was PK. And of course, he ain't her manager anymore. And she actually has signed a deal to sell her book. And she is spending that money before she gets it. Listen. When it comes to Dorit, when it comes to Dorit and her money, I'm not one of those people that like to count other people's coins because, again, I don't know what people got going on with their money. But on 1 minute, you're talking like PK done left you high and dry and you selling aluminum to pay the bills. And the next minute, you know, I don't know, girl. But either way, Dorit, she got herself a little management team, honey. She got herself a little management team. And she just sold her book. I don't know who buying her book, but I guess somebody want to read it. I guess Chuck gonna read her book. I don't know. I don't know what the book is gonna say, but I guess it's something. Has she sold her couture like Erica? Well, remember, a lot of that stuff Dorit didn't actually own. We found out that she didn't actually own a lot of that stuff. Remember when we saw? Remember what was that? Not last. Was it last season when we actually saw inside of Dorit's closet and the shit was empty? Y'all remember that? Was that last season when Dorit was up? When her and Sutton got into it real bad. When she was upstairs and Erica and or maybe that might have been a season before last when Kyle went upstairs and talked to Dorit and she was so upset. And we actually saw upstairs and we were like, the closet is empty. There's nothing upstairs. Y'all remember that? And I was like, oh, so that was last season. And we were like, so where's all this couture? Where are all these shoes? Where's all the... Anyway. Kind of like when Nene didn't want them people up in her closet. Mm-hmm. She beat that cameraman up that stopped him from going in her closet. Mm-hmm. Like pulling back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz, honey. So we see Amanda and her husband. She said they rented a house down on the beach for the summer. It's a better place for the kids. The kids get to hang out, yada, yada, yada. And this was a scene between her and her husband, basically, I guess, to show how much of a badass she is and how the ladies better not fuck with her because they don't want to see the other side of her. And her husband was co-signing it like, they don't know that, you a 3 strikes you're out kind of person. And I was like, girl, whatever, Amanda. So Rachel is having a dinner party at her house, right? Baby, why the power go out? But let me tell you something. Baby, Rachel's chef said, oh, don't worry about it. He said, I done already figured out how to get what I need out of this stove. He was like, I don't have to change my menu. I don't have to adjust nothing. He was like, if the lights don't come back on, if the power don't come back on, I'm good with the food. I said, I know that's right. He said, don't worry about me with this food. I'm good. I'm good on the food. Oh, let me put a pin in that. We also found out about Amanda's twin son who passed away. And she did talk about that. And listen, no matter how people might personally feel about Amanda, I don't ever want to take away or lessen somebody's pain and what they've gone through. I have friends and family who have lost a child, and you never get rid of that. You never lose it. I mean, just like most grief, but certainly with a child, especially if you actually carried a child and gave birth to a child. I have friends who have physically given birth to a child and lost that child, and it is a miscarriage is a miscarriage. But when you carry that child for 8 months, 9 months, actually give birth to the child, actually hold that child in your hands, and the child dies. And then in Amanda's case, you have twins. So it's a constant reminder. And it's a constant reminder. Like she said, the twins' birthday is the same week as the other twins' death. It is a lot to have to balance. It's a lot. And so I don't want to lessen just because I ain't crazy about Amanda, but I don't want to lessen her pain. So the dinner party was on the same day as the anniversary of her child's death, right? And for people who don't understand that this is a job, this is a job. Oh, damn it. See, this is what happens when I try to do 2 episodes at one time. The other thing I forgot is Kyle and Sutton, they went to the spa, and Kyle carried that bone right on to Sutton about what Jennifer said about her, and about how she was upset with Sutton. And now Erica, damn it, not Erica. Kyle, you didn't quite repeat what Jennifer said correctly. What Jennifer said was, now I understand why Garcelle left. You told Sutton that Jennifer said, now I understand why Garcelle didn't want to be your friend anymore. And the reason why I say that's important is because Garcelle left all y'all asses. And Jennifer said that she has talked to Garcelle. So let's be clear. Garcelle didn't leave Jennifer, but Garcelle left all y'all. So when she said, now I understand why Garcelle left, she said, because everything is all about Sutton. I think there's a component of that that's part of the show. Like Sutton acts different when the show is involved or when the women are involved. Because I'm sure behind closed doors or in Sutton and Jennifer's friendship outside of the show, that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Oh, I don't think they would still be friends. I don't think that Sutton and Jennifer would still be friends after all of these years if Sutton talked to her the way she's been talking to her on camera and snapped at her like that. Jennifer just doesn't seem like the kind of person that would stay friends with her. I mean, the fact that it upset her so much when Sutton did it makes me feel like this not how she would roll, right? Exactly, Quake, is a big difference. It is a big difference. So all of this is going to happen. Y'all know how these group scenes go. There's going to be, y'all know that Sutton said that she wanted to talk to Jennifer, and she was going to talk to Jennifer at Rachel's house. Now, we saw a scene where Sutton talked to Erica about it, and Sutton is really upset. Now, here's what pisses me off. Sutton, what you mad about? You did snap at Jennifer. You were rude to Jennifer, and you were disrespectful to Jennifer as your friend. She don't have a right to be mad about that. She doesn't have a right to feel some kind of way about it. She has every right to be mad, and she has every right to vent. Now, granted, I know we're producing a television show here, but Kyle, you didn't have to repeat that. You knew she was mad. You knew she was venting. You knew she was just getting some stuff off of her chest. She probably thought she was having a conversation with a friend. I know there was a camera in y'all face. I got it. But girl, you ain't have to carry that bone like that. But again, we are producing a TV show, so I'm not mad at Kyle for carrying the bone, but I am upset with Sutton for once again becoming the victim, which is what Jennifer accused you of doing in the first place. Girl, you weren't the victim. You were rude to that woman. You were rude to your friend. You snapped at your friend. You are not the victim. Beloved? The problem is Sutton doesn't think she snapped at her mother. She's at Jennifer. She's her mother's daughter. Well, that could be it too. Hold on a quick second, y'all. So we get to so Rachel Zoe, this was so cute, y'all. Rachel Zoe's power goes out. Now, this is how you know that Rachel and Kathy Hilton live in the same neighborhood. So that should let you know what Rachel Zoe property is looking like outside of the house, the part of the house that she's decided to show us. They live in the same neighborhood. Because when Rachel's power went out, so was Kathy Hilton's power. And so Sutton told Kathy she could come over her house so she could get her hair finished, getting her hair done and getting her, getting her makeup and hair and stuff done to come to Rachel Zoe's house. I said, now this is the kind of shit I like. That's the kind of stuff I like. The friendship. Yeah, girl, come on over my house. And Sutton wasn't even there. She said, girl, just go and knock on the kitchen door. Make yourself at home. I said, that's friendship. That's when you know that people are comfortable. Like, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how many people you have in your house. The fact that you are comfortable letting somebody in their glam come into your house to get themselves together tells me that, y'all are pretty comfortable with each other. I don't care if she is Kathy, Kathy Mother effing Hilton. It doesn't matter. I still think I can appreciate that, right? I can appreciate that. What I love how Rachel's team got this together, baby. They said, baby, we're just going to move this thing outside. We're going to light up all these candles. The chef said he had the food under control and we're going to make it do what it do. I loved it. I absolutely, positively loved it. Okay. So Kyle and Amanda rode together. That's important. Sutton and Erica rode together. And then I feel like somebody else rode together. But anyway. So the ladies get there and I think one of Rachel's friends showed up as well. I think it's the same one that's at the dinner party in the next episode. She was there and she used to be married to, who was it? Some billionaire child, some really rich guy child. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, so she was there. Jennifer shows up. She looks really cute. Natalie, thank you, Chuck. Natalie. Jennifer shows up. She looks really cute. Rachel Zoe. She gets the Rachel Zoe stamp of approval. Rachel Zoe said, I want to play her jewelry closet because, baby, she had some pieces. And we learned that last year that she has some pieces, honey. So Sutton goes and has a conversation with Jennifer. Number one, I think Jennifer was taken aback by the conversation because, again, she was sort of like what? What I didn't like was, and it kind of gave me Meredith Marks flashbacks. I didn't like I don't remember saying that. Well, I don't remember that I said that. Well, I don't remember what I said. Jennifer, I didn't like it. Now, I did like that you still stood in it, though. I do like that you stood in it. You definitely stood in it, but I just didn't like I don't know. I just didn't like I didn't know what I said. I don't remember saying that kind of thing. I didn't like it. But her and Sutton did have a conversation. I don't know. I'm glad they had the conversation, but I still felt like Jennifer ended up apologizing. And I don't think Jennifer was wrong. I just don't feel like Jennifer did anything wrong. And I didn't like the fact that I felt like Jennifer was on the defense. I don't know. El Michelle said, I believe she didn't remember. Jennifer gives me she enjoys edibles with her wine. She may put like this. I will believe that she didn't remember faster than I believe that Meredith didn't remember what she did on that plane. I mean, I'll be honest. So, yeah, there's a part of me that does feel like maybe she didn't remember. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Excuse me. The other thing that we find out is that Sutton carries a bone as well. Now, Sutton decided to carry a bone over to Dorit and let Dorit know that Amanda had expressed some concern about how Dorit has been talking about her ex-husband on camera, or her soon-to-be ex-husband PK on camera. So of course, y'all know how Dorit is. Dorit feel like she just gotta address it. Dorit feels like she gotta address it, honey. Now, the other conversation we had is that when Dorit was telling the ladies about her book, and Dorit let it be known that she had a ghostwriter, Amanda was like, why wouldn't you just write it by yourself? I mean, I wrote my book by myself. I mean, I don't understand why would you get a ghostwriter? Why wouldn't you just do it yourself? I mean, you don't have a job. I mean, what else are you doing? So, of course, Erica and Rachel Zoe were like, well, my book hit the New York bestsellers list and I had a ghostwriter. And Rachel Zoe was like, hello, like I had a ghostwriter. Listen, hey, Amanda, I hate to be the one to tell you, but most people have ghostwriters, especially celebrities who have written books. Most of them have some level of a ghostwriter. Even the autobiography of Malcolm X wasn't really an autobiography. I hate to be the one to bust the news to you. Even the autobiography of Malcolm X wasn't really an autobiography. Alex Haley wrote that damn book. So now you've offended pretty much everybody in that room. Because everybody in that room has written a book and had a ghostwriter. And again, don't get me wrong, I still don't know who the fuck wants to read Dorit's book, but somebody gonna buy it. I mean, she's a housewife. She's got a built-in audience. Somebody gonna buy her book. You know what I mean? So, all of these things are happening as we get ready to sit down to dinner. So we sit down to dinner and there was a tarot card reader there too, child. So we sit down to dinner and the Jennifer Tilly conversation comes up again. I feel like we kind of touched on this already. It was addressed. Jennifer apologized. Sutton apologized. They're good. Well, they're gonna be good, child. They all right. I think, thank goodness she has a ghostwriter. They can edit the number of words used. Okay, exactly. Well, she doesn't really have a friend on the show. She came on the show through Kyle because she bought Kyle's house. And Kyle is basically like, that's how I know her, because she bought my house. I don't think Kyle used the word friend though. I think friend is I think that's a loosely used word as friend. So at the dinner party, now Kyle knows that this is the anniversary of Amanda's son's passing, but nobody else at the table knows. Amanda did tell them that Amanda did tell them at an earlier conversation that she had a child that passed, but of course she didn't get into the date and all of that. Her and Kyle on the after show is so awkward. Who and Kyle? Amanda and Kyle? So while they're oh, sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. So while they're at dinner, Dorit decides to confront Amanda about what she said. And Amanda was like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" She was like, "Well, it's come to my attention that, you felt some kind of way about me talking about PK on camera. And I just feel like, basically, who are you to have an opinion? Like, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about it. I'm sorry, Chuck. Why are you in, why would you have an opinion about how I'm talking about my husband? Like, you don't even know PK." So Amanda uses this argument as a moment to throw out there, like, girl, I'm not even in the mood for this tonight because I'm barely keeping it together. This is the anniversary of my son's death, and I'm doing everything I can to just get through this moment. Now, let me say this. Let me break the fourth wall a little bit. I think I started saying this and then I got distracted. These women, and I know somebody kind of said something to me a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about the Salt Lake City wives and it being Mother's Day or whatever. And I'm like, at the end of the day, this is a job. And just like any other job, sometimes you have to work when it's inconvenient to work. Can people be excused for things? Sure, they can be excused for things. But because this show films in such a small window of time, I don't think there's a lot of leeway as far as financial if you miss too many scenes, especially group scenes, especially if it's your first year. So do I think that Amanda had much leeway in saying, look, I ain't going to make it tonight because, it's a family thing? Technically, you can always decide not to go to work. Like, we know that you can. I mean, she could have said she was sick. You know what I mean? But I'm sure there was a financial incentive for her to be there for as many scenes as she could be there as a first-time housewife. Like, let's just call a thing. So she was there. And once she threw that out and said, hey, tonight is the anniversary of my son's death. I'm doing the best I can right now. I'm just trying to make it through. In my opinion, that is where the conversation should have ended. I know it's easy for people to say, well, I think she was using this as an excuse. I think it was real convenient that she threw it out there when she threw it out there. All of that could be true. She could have very well been using the death of her son as an excuse to not have that conversation. It doesn't change the fact that it's the day that her son died. It doesn't change the fact that it's probably a really hard day for her. It doesn't negate any of that. You know what I'm saying? Just two things can be true at the same time. And that's where Bose pissed me off in the next episode, which we're about to jump into in a minute, when she was at lunch with the ladies and she was like, I mean, I've lost a child too, and, but I also feel like there's a difference between, letting people know and using it as an excuse. I mean, I could say, well, I've lost my husband. I've lost I've lost a child whenever I want to get out of a tough conversation, but you can't do that. To me, there is a difference between using tragedy as an excuse and it being the exact day of the tragedy, saying today's not a good day. So Bowles, yes, your husband has died. And yes, if you were to throw that out every time you were having a bad day, well, my husband died. You're right. That would be effed up. However, we're talking about a very specific day and a very specific anniversary of that day. Crazy. How long has it been since Amanda's child died? 3 years, I think. 2 years or 3 years. I think because they were twins. So I think the son that lived, I think was turning 2. So it had been 2 years. In my opinion, that should have been the end of the conversation. Dorit could have said, in my opinion, in that moment, what Dorit could have said was, or should have said was, I'm really sorry to hear that. I understand this is probably a bad time to have this conversation. Can me and you get together one day next week? End of the conversation. 3. Thank you, and team 3. End of the conversation. Can we get together next week? The dinner party was damn near over anyway. It just would have been awkward however you sliced it. What Dorit decides is she says, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I know this is rough for you, but, and she continues fucking talking. Now, to be fair, production did show us a little bit more of the conversation on tonight's episode, where it does look like Amanda kind of said, she said something along the lines of, well, showing him as an alcoholic, does that help anything? So I guess Dorit took that as her excuse to keep talking because Amanda kept talking. But I just think that the human thing to do, in my opinion, the human thing to do would have been to just say, you know what? We're good. I agree, Quake. I agree. In my opinion, because again, like I said, I have friends who, if their children had lived, their children would be in their 20s now. You know? My cousin, her son would be in his 30s. It just doesn't go away. And I just don't think, again, I can see, I just feel like it could have been the end of it. So Amanda is like, you know what? I can't do this. So she gets up and she leaves. Now, mind you, her and Kyle rode together. So when she gets up to leave, Kyle kind of is like, even though Kyle, you know, you could have had 500 different ways to get home, but she gets up and she goes to check on Amanda, and Amanda's in the, you know, in the driveway. And so the ladies are like, I mean, she's like in the you know, the stairwell, whatever. And the ladies are telling Dorit, girl, go talk to her. Girl, go apologize. Because they're basically saying, Dorit, girl, that could have waited. You didn't have to have that conversation. Like you know. And she was like, well, so she goes to apologize, baby. I loved Amanda. Now I ain't gonna tell y'all no lies. I loved Amanda's energy in this moment because baby Dorit went to go do the, like, let me rub your hair, like me. And Dorit and Amanda was like, don't touch me right now. Baby, I was with Amanda in that moment. Girl, don't come in here touching me. Hey, Cheryl, what's up, Pooh? Don't come in here touching me. Girl, I just told you my son died, and you continue to want to talk to me about you talking about your husband and y'all divorced. Like, hello. So that's where the episode pretty much ended, with Dorit apologizing and Amanda giving her that I don't give a damn what you just said energy. And I was here for it. Again, Amanda, she ain't my favorite person. I think she's gonna be a one-hit wonder. But at the same time, baby, I was with you on that one, Amanda. Baby, Amanda said, don't touch me. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Hold on, y'all. Chat. So going into tonight's episode, the episode starts off with Dorit. It starts off with Erica and with Rachel Zoe. And I love this moment. I am really, really, really loving Rachel Zoe. I am loving Rachel Zoe and all her energy. Okay. And of course they talk about what happened at the dinner party. And they're not feeling Amanda. Like, they're just not feeling Amanda. And I can respect that. However, I've said what I said. I feel like Dorit should have had some compassion for Amanda in that moment and could have moved on, right? So then we see, what else did they talk about? I feel like that was pretty much the bulk of the conversation. So then we see Kyle meeting up with Amanda. Now, Amanda, I see the writing on the wall for you, girl. Because Kyle asked you how you feeling, everything that went down the other night, how you feeling. And, she was like, well, I'm just feeling emotionally drained. And, I just feel like, what did she say? I was emotionally accosted, and I don't know how I feel about it. I can't believe Dorit did that to me, and I don't know how I feel about being around her anymore. And was giving it up, right? She was just giving it up. And this is how I knew. I said, "Oh, Amanda, you in trouble." Because Kyle was like, "Oh my gosh, she's starting to sound like a Crystal Minkoff now." And they did the flashback to Crystal Minkoff being upset when Sutton came in her room, and she said she felt accosted. I said, "Yeah, they about to Amanda, let it go, baby. You they about to angel you. They just not gonna be as big of bullies about it, but they about to angel you about Amanda. Baby, it's a wrap, Amanda. I don't know what to tell you, girl. Enjoy your one season, because it's about to be it. Because now they trying to say they gonna Crystal Minkoff you, and y'all know how they said that Crystal Minkoff was being real extra. She was doing too much. So she says that she needs to talk to Dorit, but she said that, she was like, don't say anything to her. I do want to talk to her, and let me, basically let me address it how I need to address it. Let me have the conversation. But I said, oh, here we go. I said, the writing is on the wall now, honey. So next we see Bowles and Dorit meeting for lunch with Bowles' childhood friend. I think her name is Summer. It's her childhood friend. They've known each other since high school, which I forgot Bowles was originally, well, I mean, I know she's originally from Ghana, but I forgot she came straight out of, Colorado Springs, honey. And she talked about how much of a culture shock it was. Now, Kyle also comes to this lunch, and they're at this lunch, and they start asking Kyle about her and Mauricio, and when, what it was like when she saw Mauricio with other women, and did she ever want to file for divorce, and why didn't she actually file for divorce? And conveniently, just as that moment, who comes walking up? Mauricio. Now, I personally do not believe that this was a coincidence. I believe that this was very much planned. One, because Kyle, you're not that good of an actress. I know you are an actress, but you're not that good of an actress. And you didn't even it didn't even seem like you were shocked or you were surprised at all. And the fact that, because at first I was like, well, why would Dorit ask him the questions that she was asking him? But I was like, child, this was a setup by Todd to come to us with the bullshit. Now, I don't know who set it up. I can't say that all of them were in on it, but I certainly do not think that Kyle was surprised to see Mauricio. First of all, Mauricio and Kyle have been in this together from the beginning, which means we are on season 17, which means that for at least the last 20 years, because y'all know their downsides and all of that. So for at least the last 20 years, let's say 19 to 20 years, you and Mauricio have been in on this together. Mauricio know how this shit goes. Mauricio understands having a storyline. Mauricio understands having to film and having to show up. Baby, I 100% believe that was planned. Now, do I think that all of the ladies were in on it? I don't know. But I don't think Kyle was shocked. So Mauricio sits down, and they proceed to just like bombard Mauricio with everything I guess they've been wanting to ask him for the last 2 years. Bowles brings up how she saw him at the Soho Club and how she was gonna beat him up. Baby, did y'all see the look on Mauricio's face? Mauricio was sitting there looking at her like, who are you? What you mean you were gonna beat me up? And did y'all hear what Mauricio said? He was like, you could have just said hi. You could have just came over and said hi. So then Dorit asked Mauricio, well, did you ever think about filing for divorce? And Mauricio was like, no. So they're going to turn to Kyle and say, well, have you? Mind you, Kyle just said she had thought about filing for divorce. So now she'll have no choice but to say, yeah. Why is that a question you would ask somebody out the clear blue? That's not even a question you ask somebody. Have you ever thought about filing for divorce while you're literally sitting there with her husband, with the wife sitting right there at the table? That was weird to me, Dorit. Whether it was set up or not, it was weird. So then Dorit says to Mauricio, I would love to sit down and talk to you. I really want to, work things out and get into a good place with PK. And I would really love for you to hear the other side of the story. Now, here's what I thought was funny. Dorit says, once you hear my side of the story, then feel free to go back to PK and tell him anything you feel like you need to tell him. So what you're assuming is, one, once he hears the other side of the story, he's going to side with you. And two, now you want to use him as an intermediary between you and PK. I don't think that's fair to Mauricio, because Mauricio is friends with PK. He's not going to, like, what you want him to do is advocate on your behalf because you feel like you're right. And you're so convinced that you're right that you've convinced yourself that once you have a conversation with Mauricio, he's going to think that you're right and he's going to go get on his friend. I don't think that's going to go the way you think it's going to go, Dorit. And you shouldn't even want it to. Like, you shouldn't even want it to go that way. You know what I'm saying? But either way, that's the conversation. So Kyle is having a birthday party for Erica and Dorit. She's hosting the party. She said that since her and Dorit have gotten in a better space, she's trying to, she's trying to do the things to, help with their friendship and help keep their friendship in a good space. Kyle goes over to Amanda's house to see the newly renovated house. We had this conversation a few weeks ago. I don't understand, I guess it's always, I'm sorry. They found out that Amanda was in a cult, and they don't understand why Amanda hasn't told them that she was in a cult, but Amanda has found time to tell them about everything else except for that fact she was in a cult. Well, the fact that y'all didn't even have no sympathy for this woman after she told y'all that she had a child that died. I don't know why y'all surprised that y'all don't know as much about her. Like, people always crack me up when they say, well, she didn't tell me this about her. She didn't tell me that about her. In my mind, she shared with you something that was way more personal and way more private than her being in a cult. There was a whole blog she wrote about it on her website. I thought that was interesting. Anyway. Can't tell Kyle anything, child. So Kyle ends up having a whole breakdown after walking through the house, reminiscing on all of the memories. And in her mind, she's now feeling like, had they not moved out of that house, maybe their marriage would have never ended, because she's like, well, maybe, at the end of the day, bigger doesn't always mean better. Maybe they got so caught up and consumed with life and with the business and all of that, that's what kind of broke their marriage apart. And she really wishes that they could work things out. They could get things, I don't think, when I say work things out, I think she wants to get back with Mauricio. Like, I think that's what she desires. The funny thing is, I don't think you were all that concerned about getting back with Mauricio when you had Morgan over here and you had a whole love affair going on. I feel like now you're ready to get back with him because you done playing. Mauricio is still playing. And that's why Mauricio ain't thought about filing for divorce, because he got the best of both worlds. Y'all, if y'all are talking, the chat isn't moving. If y'all not talking, that's cool, because there's not a lot of y'all in here. But I just want y'all to know I'm not ignoring y'all. The chat's not moving. So I don't know. Y'all see what I see. Y'all see the last comment on the screen is can't tell Kyle anything. Now, if y'all not talking, that's cool. I just don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring y'all. So, So Kyle has a whole, allegedly Kyle bought a home in Nashville. Maybe she did. So Kyle has a whole breakdown. You know what I mean? She has a whole breakdown. And, you know, she tells that to Mauricio. And Mauricio was kind of looking at her like, girl, what? Like, so we had never bought a bigger house, we would still be together. And to her defense, Kyle is like, look, I don't know if we are, if we were, we weren't. It just just seems like we were happy here. You know, it just seems like I know when we left this house, we were happy. And things ain't so happy at the other house, you know. But I feel like when a marriage falls apart, you always look back on the regrets and what coulda, woulda, shoulda, and all of that. Do I think there's a chance for her and Mauricio? I don't know. Because neither one of them seem to be in a rush to get a divorce, but I don't know if that's out of business because there was no prenup. They ain't had nothing when they got married. So there's no prenup. And the agency is a multi-million-dollar business. Like, financially, I think both of them are just comfortable with the way things are. I don't know. Anyway, so the ladies go out to lunch. And to be honest, I feel like, Amanda, you showed up to just be an asshole. Like, from the word go, you were being an asshole. You were talking about Dorit being late. You were talking about, you didn't want to sit across from Dorit. You didn't want to make eye contact. Like, you were being an asshole from the beginning. Again, now, do I think you had a right to feel some kind of way about Dorit? Do I feel like you had a right to be upset with Dorit? Yes, you do. I ain't gonna take that away from you. However, I just feel like your only purpose for showing up was to just be an ass. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Dorit says, hey girl, do you want to talk? No, I think me and you need to talk. I really want us to, sort of clear the air kind of thing. And Amanda says, sure, you want to find somewhere to go have a conversation. Dorit says, I don't feel like we need to do that. So here's my issue. Again, why can't you go have a one-on-one conversation with that woman? I didn't understand you not wanting to go and have a one-on-one conversation with her. That part I didn't like. And Amanda must not have liked it either, because Amanda was like, well, I feel like I should be able to come to a dinner party without being verbally accosted by you. Baby Dorit was like, what? What you mean verbally accosted? Baby, once again, just like Crystal Minkoff, now you want to read the definition of the word accosted. Talking about, I think I used it the right way. And she gonna pick up her phone and was like, well, let me look it up. Girl, you don't need to Google no damn definitions. I feel like now, Amanda, I do feel like you're being performative and you're looking for a moment. Do I feel like you had a reason to be upset with Dorit? Absolutely. Do I feel like now you're doing a lot? Absolutely. And that's pretty much where the episode ended. The other thing was Rachel Zoe did file for divorce. She said she didn't get into the details of what made her actually file in that moment, but she said some things had transpired that sort of pushed her into filing for divorce when she filed for divorce. So I feel like Amanda was being sarcastic. I don't feel like she was being sarcastic because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure about the I don't know, because I'm like, I don't see what the sarcasm was. Because why? I don't know. Now, was she being a smart ass? Maybe. I don't know about the sarcastic part, but I hear you, Brianna. I don't see where the sarcasm is. Now, was she being a smart ass? Yeah. And again, she has a right to feel some kind of way about Dorit. I just feel like Dorit offered to have a conversation. I didn't see what the big deal was about having to go have a one-on-one versus having it in front of the group. I just feel like, why can't we have a one-on-one conversation? Anyway, but that was where the episode ended. I know I went through both of. I was trying to get through both of them episodes, child. But that was where the episode ended. I was gonna try to watch Traders tonight and do a Traders review, but that ain't gonna happen. But I am about to go watch it because I want to know what happens at this dinner party, honey. But I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.